Good morning, ladies. I'm going to start with the Tibetan Rites, and then I'm going to do a really simple morning practice that you could tap into each morning this week after the retreat. Alright, so spinning to your right, either arms out straight or bent, 5 rotations to begin with. Just continually looking at that drishti to center yourself after the spins. Second Tibetan Rite, the tops of the feet down on the mat, hands in the small of the back, remembering to emphasize the breath, breathing in to bend back, breathing out to come forward, pressing the chin on the chest, squeezing the thyroid gland. For our third Tibetan Rite, laying down on the mat, hands in the small of the back, either knees bent or legs out straight. Breathing in to come up, breathing out to go down. Number 4, tabletop, either hands out to the side or in a fist, or perhaps facing forward, feet placed hip width apart, however far in front of you choose, or however far is comfortable. Breathing in to come up, placing your head back if your neck allows, breathing out to bring your bottom through, or just placing your bottom on the ground. And then for number 5, the adapted downward dog. So knees are bent. You're breathing in to come forward. Breathing out to go back. And after your 5th one, just laying down in child's pose. And just observing how your body feels. When you're ready, just making your way up to the front of your mat, we're going to start with 3 sun salutations, and I'm going to show you the 2 types. So I'm going to start with a traditional sun salutation, and then the second one I'll do the more gentle, and then I'll go back to the traditional. Okay, breathing in to lift your hands above your head, breathing out, bending forward from the hips. Breathing in, lifting your head halfway up. Breathing out, going back to high plank. Continuing down to upward dog and back to downward dog. Taking 5 breaths here. After the 5th breath, making your way up to the front of your mat. Breathing in to look forward, breathing out to come down, making your way up to standing. For our second sun salutation, as I mentioned, it'll be a little bit gentler. Breathing out, bending forward from the hips. Breathing in, looking halfway up. Breathing out, bending forward. Stepping back to high plank, bringing your right foot forward, placing the left knee on the ground. Keeping the arms above the head. As you breathe out, just switching over sides. Placing that right knee on the ground. Bringing the arms above the head. Putting the knees down on the ground and coming through to upward dog. And then going back to downward dog. Coming back up to standing, breathing in to bring the arms above the head, breathing out to come back down by your side. I'm just going to show you that second sun salutation again. Breathing in to bring the arms above the head, breathing out, bending forward from the hips. Breathing in, looking halfway up. Breathing out, going back to high plank, bringing one of the feet forward, arms above the head, then switching sides, bringing the arms above the head, always remembering to connect to the breath. As you bring both feet back together, placing the knees on the ground, coming into upward dog, and then back down to downward dog. Taking 5 deep breaths here. When you're ready, coming to the front of your mat. We're going to do our last one as a traditional sun salutation. Breathing in, looking halfway, stepping back to high plank, coming through to upward dog, and back to downward dog. Taking 5 breaths here. You may choose to stretch out the calves, place one heel at a time on the ground. It's up to you to feel into your body and what feels right. Making your way up to standing. Coming up to hands above the head. Placing the hands beside you. Stepping out so our legs are wider than hip width. Placing the hands on the waist. Taking a deep breath in. Bending forward from the hips. And just placing your hands on the ground, or they can go on your shin. Straightening that back and taking another deep breath in, and then bending forward from the hips, keeping that spine straight. You may even choose to do a slight bend in either leg just to get into that inner leg. Placing the hands back on the hips and coming back up to standing. Turning the right foot out, bending that right knee, placing the elbow on the knee, bringing the left arm overhead, Just stretching the side of the body. When you're ready, switching sides. So first of all, maneuvering the feet, bending that left knee, placing the left elbow on the knee, and bringing that right arm over the head. And then we're going to leave the feet where they are and just place that hand on the back of the leg, just stretching the front of the body by bringing that left arm overhead. You may also choose to leave that left knee bent. Either is okay. And then switching sides. So either leaving both legs straight, placing the hand behind the left hamstring or on the left hamstring, bringing the right arm overhead. You may also choose to bend that right knee. Coming up to the front of your mat. I'm going to get you to widen those feet to hip width apart and just bending forward from the hips. Grabbing onto the elbows and just drooping forward, just letting that head hang. You may choose to slightly bend those knees to take any pressure off. Coming back up to standing. We're going to do one grounding posture before we move into our seated postures. So we're going to do the eagle pose. So firmly grounding the left foot, wrapping the right leg over the left. You may choose to tuck it or you may choose to leave it on the ground. And then placing the right arm underneath the left, making sure you've got a place to stare at or a dristi, a focal point to keep you centered and grounded. And if you can, sit further in that seat and pull the arms further upwards to stretch that back out, to really work the legs and ground you. Coming back up to standing. If you can stay longer, please do. Moving on to grounding that right foot, wrapping the left over the right. You may choose to place the left on the ground or wrap it behind and then wrapping the left arm underneath. Once again, sitting further in that seat, making sure the bottom goes back, not just down, so that the knee is still just over the toes or in line with the toes. And then pulling those arms further up. Coming back up to standing, we're going to make our way down to our seated postures. So if you choose, moving through a sun salutation. And then from your downward dog or your seated position, just bringing that left knee in between both hands. We're going to move into our pigeon pose. So really extending that right leg back, making sure the front leg is on a 45-degree angle, or if you feel like there's no pain, you may choose to change the angle slightly and open up that left shin a little. When you're ready, placing the elbows on the ground if your body allows, and if you choose, just going fully into a bend or a forward fold. When you're ready, coming back up and switching sides. So bringing that left knee back to meet the right, and then bringing that right knee forward. Changing the angle of the front of the leg if there's no pain or if your body allows. And when you're ready, just bending forward from the hips. Remembering that both sides might be slightly different. I'm noticing my right is a bit tighter than my left. When you're ready, just coming back up, we're going to move into Baddha Konasana or butterfly posture. You can choose whether your feet are closer to your groin or further away in a diamond shape. Placing both sit bones on the ground. You may choose to open that foot book. And when you're ready, just bending forward from the hips, keeping that spine nice and straight. Remembering not to hunch the back. You may choose to also place the hands out in front and just gently creep them forward. Okay, coming up and placing the legs out in front. You'll be obviously sitting long ways on your mat, but I'll face forward just so you can see the rotations. We're just going to finish with some gentle twists. So placing the left foot over the right knee and using the alternate arm to raised knee, and placing the left hand back as a support and just looking back behind you, making sure that right foot is activated, just twisting those internal organs. And then just switching arms. You may choose to use the elbow to resist against the knee, or you may simply choose to grab the knee and twist the other way using the right hand as the support. And then switching legs. So placing the right foot over the left knee, using the alternate arm to knee, and looking back, making sure that left foot is activated. And then switching arms, so you may resist the knee with your elbow, or you may simply choose to hug the knee and look back over the left shoulder. And then same as at the retreat, just finishing with any stretches that your body desires. I might just do a couple just to give you a few ideas, but you do what's right for your body. So I'm just going to finish with the threading of the needle. So I'm going to place my right foot over my left knee and then reach through and grab behind my left leg and pull it close towards me to stretch the glute. Remembering to breathe through it. I often find that stretches out the muscle and allows me a little bit more extension. Hold that for however long you feel is needed for your body and switching over. So placing the left foot on top of the right knee, reaching through and grabbing behind the right leg and then pulling it towards you. stretching that left glute. And then I might just finish with some gentle bridges, so placing the feet hip width apart and just gently working through vertebrae by vertebrae up to a gentle bridge, and then in reverse moving through vertebrae by vertebrae. Doing that another 2 times. Breathing in to come up, breathing out to go down. And then just finishing in Shavasana. So remembering that the palms are facing upwards. I like to tuck my shoulder blades in. The feet are generally on the edges of the mat. Toes are draping outwards. Just taking a couple of deep breaths to settle into this position. Noticing how your body feels after your gentle yoga, your oil pulling, tongue scraping, hydration. Perhaps you went for a gentle walk before this, the Tibetan Rites. And I'm going to cut the video short here, just so you're not staring at me lying on the mat. But obviously stay in Shavasana for however long feels right for you. And then what I would suggest is, oh, that light's not very good, is it? My phone actually died, so I went for a walk in the middle of these 2 recordings. What I would suggest is finishing with a gentle meditation and some breath work. Either the alternate nostril breathing or the Wim Hof might be 2 ideas. You also may have your own. The box breathing is also another idea, breathing in for 4, holding for 4, out for 4, holding for 4, and doing 4 rounds. There's plenty of ideas. I hope your first week back goes really well after the retreat, and any questions, reach out. Bye.